Hi guys, Aaron Niemeyer here from Epro 360, and after having helped many students reach into the United States and find the right college for them, I'm super excited to talk about this state because I've actually helped several students make it to the state of Georgia. That's right, today we're going to talk about the Peach State of the United States. It has so much history, so much to talk about, so interesting in fact, that you gotta strap in because this video is going to blow your mind. Now for starters, I want to share a few quick fun facts that I just thought that were fascinating, interesting, or just hilarious if you ask me. Now the first thing to talk about is actually connected to its economy and also its general location, and that's the fact that it has the biggest airport in the United States. Atlanta International Airport is one of the biggest in the world. It deals roughly with 120 million people per year. It has 5 different tarmacs that planes can take off and land on. It is the home, the headquarters, the hub of Delta. And that has, obviously, it plays a huge factor in the economy of Atlanta and Georgia, respectively. But if you do travel to the United States, definitely look into the airport of Atlanta because it might have a great deal, might have a great connection that you can use regardless of studying in Georgia or not. The second cool fact is Wesleyan College in Georgia was the first charter university to provide degrees to women. And I thought that was very interesting, even though it is in a southern state, which a lot of people consider to be more conservative. It was, in fact, the first college, charter college in the United States to offer degrees to women. The third fact I found interesting just because I like wildlife, I do like the outdoors, and that is the biggest wild hog was hunted and killed in the state of Georgia. And just listen to this, even though you might not appreciate the fact of hunting, it weighed more than 1,000 pounds and was 12 feet long. It's the biggest hog ever hunted or found in the world, and they nicknamed it Hogzilla. Another cool fact about the state of Georgia, and right outside of Atlanta actually, is that Stone Mountain is the largest piece of granite in the United States. You can go out and see it year round. There are different hiking trails around it and over it. And during Christmas, they also have different lights and celebrations that you can go and enjoy. So if you haven't been there, check it out. Another cool thing about Georgia is that down in the south, bordering Florida, you have the Okefenokee Swamp Area. Yes, that is a word. Say it with me. Okefenokee Swamp Area down in the south. Biggest swamp area in all of the United States, but also, interestingly enough, where the biggest wildfire in Georgia's history also occurred after a lightning struck a tree right in the middle of this park, and it just expanded and burnt a lot of trees. And that is the biggest swamp area, but also the biggest wildfire area in the state of Georgia. All right. Those are just fun facts, Aaron. I want to hear the good stuff. I want to hear the meaty information about Georgia and why it might be a great place to actually study. Well, that's easy. It has great universities to choose from. You have roughly 60 colleges and universities to select, to look deeply into, whether that's to study law, business, medicine, the arts, any liberal arts program as well. If you're interested in fashion, look at the Savannah School of Fashion. If you're interested in any of the business or technology, look at the University of Georgia. If you're into science, go to the Georgia Institute of Technology. If you want basically a very balanced sheet on what to choose because you're really undecided, check out Georgia Southern. They have different campuses, one of them being in Savannah. Great programs, great availability, and overall great cost of attendance. And that's because the affordability in the state of Georgia is phenomenal. It was ranked recently as one of the best places to live by Gen Zers, meaning they find it very attractive for the affordability, for the parks that surround those cities, and just the way it's the layout, how they can walk around, the entertainment. Another great point in favor of Georgia overall, Atlanta specifically. You also have great cost of homes if you're looking into starting your career, and you do want to purchase a home or you want to stay there long term, then Georgia might be a great, phenomenal place to do that because you also have a booming market behind it started by all these companies that have their HQs in Atlanta or Georgia in general. As I mentioned, Delta has their home in Atlanta. Coca-Cola has their home in Atlanta. Overall, 14 or 18 different Fortune 500 companies have their HQ in the state of Georgia. Roughly 20 Fortune 1000 have their home, and even more than that in the Fortune 10,000 have their HQs in the state of Georgia. So overall, economy-wise, is booming, and that might be a great place for you to think about your next steps upon finishing your degree. So that's why if you're interested in starting your degree and you want to consider looking after that, what can I do with that degree? Think about Georgia. All right, Aaron, you mentioned entertainment. What does that mean? What does Atlanta, what does Georgia have to offer on the entertainment side? Well, it has pretty much everything. If you're into sports, you have 17 professional sports to watch. If you're into collegiate sports, NCAA Division 1, 2, 3, NIAI, NIA sports, you also have a ton of different colleges that participate in these. You have NBA, you have NFL, you have baseball. Doesn't matter where you look. Sports-wise, you're going to be satisfied. But if you're even into sports that are maybe not the traditional sports, like racing, race cars, or even horse riding, you also have, powerhouses of NASCAR horse riding located in the state of Georgia. So entertainment-wise, on the sports side, you're going to be completely surrounded by sports year-round. That is just going to make it impossible to do anything else. But even more, if you're interested on the cuisine side of things, you have great cuisine in the state of Georgia. There's a great blend of different heritages, different stories, different cultures just blending together. Look at, for example, Savannah, how the culture has just blended into one great style of cuisine that flourishes, and you have great recipes, great restaurants just popping up everywhere. Atlanta, as I mentioned, it's starting to be a hub for Gen Zs. They love to eat out. So the eating out culture is just so unique, remarkable, and it's everywhere. You're going to be surrounded by cool foods that you're not going to find anywhere else in the country. If you're a nature lover like myself, then Georgia, again, is a great place. If you look at Savannah, you have the different river hikes. If you want mountains, you actually have the starting or the ending point of one of the longest trail in the United States. It takes 6 months to complete, starting or ending in the state of Georgia and going all the way up the Appalachian Mountains to the state of Maine. As I mentioned, it takes roughly 6 months, depending on the speed you take, but that's where it starts and that's where it finishes, and it gives you a taste that outdoors is definitely possible. Not only possible, but it is also year-round. You have average temperatures in the 60s, 70s, and 80s year-round. It's true that you might have, regular downfalls because it's subtropical, but the outdoors is something that everybody enjoys. Barbecues, hiking, swimming, canoeing, fishing, etc. In the state of Georgia, it's basically every day. Now, having said that, I do have to make a caveat. Warm weather and rain and water, that brings mosquitoes. That's one of the biggest problems in the state of Georgia right now. It's ranked, again, 7 years straight, one of the worst cities, Atlanta, for the problem of mosquitoes. They're big, they're pesky, they hurt. So if you're allergic to mosquitoes or you just don't like mosquitoes, be careful and buy a good anti-mosquito repellent, because you're going to find them pretty much all day long. What other things might I be worried about in the state of Georgia? Well, if you're allergic, careful with the state of Georgia. As I mentioned, it's constantly raining and it's constantly hot or humid as well. So pollination happens pretty much year round, starting in February and finishing all the way into November. So if you are a very allergic person, just consider carefully the state of Georgia, because you might have severe reactions. Now, a lot of international students also choose Georgia as their home base, their destination, because it's very accessible to other states. Weekend trips down to other neighboring states like Florida, South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, that whole region is very accessible. So if you are a person that wants to kind of move around, having that Atlanta airport and the neighboring states, also allows you to travel, get to know the US, get to know different regions, and maybe plan trips that you couldn't make if you went to other places. Now, some final remarks. I just want to say that the state of Georgia is doing a really good job of attracting new business. It's becoming a great place for big companies to come in. They're giving some significant tax breaks. So you're going to probably see in the next 10, 15 years a great growth, economically speaking, of this state. So again, as a final remark, I think educational-wise, you got a great, solid place that's going to give you great, solid education that is going to be attractive for those businesses that are either already there, like I mentioned, Coca-Cola or Delta, but also emerging industries, emerging companies that are starting to find their way into new states. You see the exodus of California. They need to find new hubs. They need to find new states that are attractive economically speaking. And Georgia is doing a phenomenal job of just keeping that growth constantly going on the upward trend. And that's why I think recommending Georgia is not a bad idea. And it's also a great place to enjoy the US experience. If you like this video, if you enjoyed this content and you want to know more about the state of Georgia or more about studying in the US in general, then I encourage you to follow the link in the section below and book a free consultation with Epro 360. On this free consultation, we can better assess your profile, what it is you're looking for, how we can be of service, and basically what it takes to make it to the United States. So feel free to go to that link, click it, fill out your information, and book a consultation call with Epro 360 and their experts today. Finally, if you've liked this video, then don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. That way you're going to get notified the moment we post new states. If there is any state you want to know more about, then feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. And until then, thank you very much.